Introverted shy guys, how did you meet your girlfriend? I'll answer for him. We were in high school. I had just developed epilepsy. He saw me seizing in the hallway and helped me. When I woke up I found a note in my bag saying you owe me one. How about homecoming? I've been with that cheeky bastard for 11 years. My crush was very introverted and shy. I got bored of waiting and asked him out and he said yes. 3 years going strong. We were both homeless and met at a shelter. I'm quite lucky that in my culture Latina women aren't raised to be passive and sit on their hands and wait for a guy. Every Latina girl I've been with initiated and told me they liked me. She approached me in an empty parking garage at night. Student protests. The riot cops were charging and firing tear gas. So we ran into a cafe registered sign, waiting for things to die down. This whole pretend to look like a date thing kinda morphed into one. We kept hanging out together, going to museums, or the botanical gardens, on picnics or bike rides together, because it was so damned fun to hang out together. After a few months of this, we kinda realized we'd stumbled into a relationship. 9 years later, and we're engaged. Long story short, cops tear gassed us into a relationship. At work, she asked me out. Been married for years. Don't give me hope. About 2 years ago I moved to a new house. There was this beautiful neighbor girl who caught me eyes. Me being an introvert was scared to tell her that I had a crush on her. Then after a few months my best friend told me that they were kind of friends before a few years. So then this friend texted her and told her that the neighbor guy, had a crush on her. She texted me immediately and the first conversation was incredibly awkward and I thought I just blew my chance. The conversation was painful as I just was the lame ass awkward guy. She told me that she was not into relationships and she told me that we could be friends and the talk ended. But later that day she texted me to check if I was okay with the whole awkward talk. This really saved everything as we vibed like crazy and we discovered that we had many mutual interests. We became friends and then became best friends and this friendship basically progressed into us liking each other and then we fell in love without knowing what was happening. Easily the best thing that has ever happened to me. Family gathering. At a mutual friend's birthday party, about 10ish people present. So a year later, when our mutual friend had her next birthday party and I'd had enough time to think of an opening line, I started to talk to her. Cue 4 months of emailing back and forth later. And we were a couple. 8 years and counting now. So yeah, we took our time. I liked her for a while. And then one of my friends at the time, who knew I liked her, started dating her my freshman year of high school. I kinda got over her slowly thinking I never stood a chance. And eventually became friends with her since they were dating. Yeah, then he cheated on her and I was the one who was there for her and I ended up asking her out later. We've been together 7.5 years later. My BF is super introverted and nerdy. We met in college because we were in the same science club together. I was dating someone else at the time, but we friended each other on social media since he had keys to our club advisor's office. He was a TA as well. We lost touch for about a year. I broke up with my then BF, and then ran into each other at a bar in our college town. He had graduated and started working out of state but just happened to be in town for his brother's bachelor party. I was stuck at the bar because I was designated driver for my roommate and her friends. We're both super shy and introverted so we ran into each other in the quietest corner of the bar. We recognized each other and started chatting for like 5 minutes until we both got quiet and awkward and we parted ways. But after that we started messaging on FB. We were both a lot more brave and conversational online. We talked for like 6 months. He was working out of state and got to know each other super well. He visited me for a date and we've been a couple ever since. Anime body pillows are pretty inexpensive. Online dating. I realized after years of failure that bars only work for extroverts. I'm no good at being seen or heard in groups or crowds. I'm much better at one-to-one conversations. Because there aren't as many variables. Online dating was a way to chat to women online first, then go and meet them one-to-one. I'm fairly introverted and don't have a GF. But there was this one time that a girl looked in my general direction. I was looking for someone to share a flat, but I found someone to share my life with instead. A regular walked into the CVS I was cashiering dressed incredibly well as a fairy. After inquiring, that was just singular event and she really taught sword choreography and built performances for a troupe of pirates. She invited me out to play with swords that Saturday. She met me. We were camping with a youth group of round about 30 kids and several adults who managed everything. After roughly 1 week and doing some stuff together, we were sitting in one of the makeshift cooking tents and just talked about something. She asked me if I had ever kissed a girl before. A little bit confused I said no. She then asked me if she could kiss me. I don't know why I said yes, but I did. And then we kissed. From that point forth we were in a relationship and a happy one indeed. Online. We met on Match.com in 2009. We got married in 2012. Now, we're on our second house and we have 2 kids. High school. We were in choir together. I was a shy chill bass kinda guy. She was the overly friendly soprano who went out of her way to befriend me and invite me to her birthday party and all kinds of stuff. She likes to push people out of their comfort zones and she did that to me a lot. And now I'm significantly less shy. Our 1-month anniversary is today. I was threatened with violence to ask her out. In high school, I was always approached by girls. My breakup in college was the tipping point of my mental breakdown that had been building for years and subsequently destroyed my life. Now I'm nearly 27. Haven't had a real relationship in 7 years. Already got tired of being used for one-nighters. So now, everyone either assumes I'm married, I don't know why, I don't wear a ring, or gay. I work mostly with other men, as women aren't usually interested in my field of work. And I don't have any friends because they all moved to the coasts. So I work and save my money, nearly debt free and have a more successful life than I ever would have if I'd continued college. But my life and my house are empty and lonely. I can't stand crowds, hate bars, and live in a small city in the Midwest. Not rural enough for privacy, not metro enough for anything to do. Dating apps are impossible. I seriously don't know how any adult dates. The only things people are interested in here are sports, beer, hunting, meth, fishing, beer, and agriculture. And I'm a nerd. I'm not interested in any of that. And the local population isn't interested in my hobbies. So it looks like I'm probably going to be alone forever. And now this post has ruined my day. My extroverted friends told them that I like them. She pretty much already knew that though when she made the first move. Hey fellas, just a pro tip for you if you have trouble putting yourself out there. Always keep your number written down on a piece of paper in your wallet. This way if you see someone you like you can walk up to her with your number and say something like, "Hey, I like your style and you seem really cool. Here's my number if you're interested and want to meet up sometime." It might get a little awkward with how she responds, but they'll usually be flattered. If the gesture feels unwanted, just say "have a nice day" or something and start walking away. This is useful because it makes the woman feel more comfortable. You're not giving her pressure by asking for her number and you're not trying to put your number in her phone. Also, it skips breaking the ice to directly asking for a date. No games, just straightforward honesty of intentions. A short and sweet interaction. It helps a lot, especially when you get nervous and have to walk away with jello legs. If she's not interested, she'll just throw the number away. If she is interested, then balls in her court to hit you up. I wouldn't consider myself an introvert, but I did struggle with approaching women and the whole concept of flirting. So after my first GF, in retrospective I have no idea how I ended up with her. Broke up with me. One of my friends told me his secret for getting girls, and it went like this. Years ago, in the pre-Facebook and pre-Tinder era, there was a local social platform in Germany. One of its features was that when you clicked on another person's profile, that person was notified. So he told me to play the quantity game. Create a search filter with the desired parameters. Female. Age 18-25. Living in our city. Currently online. With profile picture. You'll get around 200 search results in one go and then just click on each and every single one of them. Don't pay attention to the profile. To the pictures. Don't waste time with pre-screening or anything. Just click on a profile. Go back. Click on the next profile. Go back. etc. I do this menial task while watching TV. The idea was that statistically, of the 200 girls that got notified of the visit, 46 would initiate contact. From there on, it's just a matter of getting to know each other and see where it goes. The only issue was, he was a pretty boy and I was like, dunno, maybe a solid 7 on a good day. So for me, it was more like 2-3 replies from 400-600 profile clicks. But it still paid off. Apparently, my current wife ended up as a search result multiple times. The user base was large, but not infinite. So I clicked on her profile a couple of times. Someday she messaged me, asking me WTF I was doing on her profile. The rest is history. I'm the girlfriend. My guy became shy in dating because of an ex who dumped him after like a month of dating because she didn't actually like him in the first place. She dated him out of pity and kept being horrible to him after. Broke his heart and tried to use texts from when he was heartbroken against him a year later. High schoolers, am I right, gentlemen? I was his friend. Realized one night that I couldn't handle the thought of him being with anyone else and texted him so. Still with that dork almost 7 months later. Love him to bits. Wish I could see him more often, but COVID cases are rising in our area again, so we have to be careful. I met my now ex-girlfriend through dancing lessons that were provided for free at our university. The first lesson was awkward as you have to choose who to dance with. My first dance partner didn't show up on the second lesson, but luckily so did a dance partner for one of the girls. This girl eventually became my girlfriend. I guess the constant closeness and body contact during dancing helped a lot. P.S. Please don't go to dance lesson, just go get a partner. Go there for the love of the dance. Me and my GF met at a birthday party of her uncle, where I really was clueless about anything. I didn't knew what to do, and after spending a good while on being lost I met her. I followed her then for the rest of the night around. What creeped her out, I found later out, and we became friends. Months later, we had daily contact. During full-blown quarantine we were talking and I made a joke about dating and she being an unlovable idiot didn't understood it, and that kind of forced us both to confess. Right, you cat, just you woo? I met them through my extrovert owner. I was hammered. We were at a college party. She thought I was with another girl. I was not. I thought she was with another guy. She was not. Conversation was easy since there was no pressure for either of us. One thing led to another, and we ended up together. Been together for 30 years. Married for 26. If I had known she was single, I probably would never have struck up a conversation. I'm sure the alcohol helped. Well, it all started when this plumber kept jumping on a bunch of turtles. We were sent out to defend our land. I met her while we were in battle. What the hell are you talking about? Who should I have met? She asked me for my notes. I asked her for her number. Fair trade. I was wanking on an airplane and the stewardess asked me to stop. 3 years later she is now my wife. We met at work. She was relatively new and in training to replace someone that worked at my store as well. I always thought she was really cute but was too shy to say anything to her, because I never really talked to her and I have RBF. She assumed that I was a mean person. Then one day she had the chance to see me interact with her trainer and realized that I wasn't mean and she thought I was cute. Her trainer, who was also a friend of hers, decided to text me afterwards and inform me that the new girl thought the bald guy with glasses was cute. Didn't believe her and asked if she was sure that the new girl was talking about me and not the other bald guy with glasses who looked like a model. Sure enough, it was me. We talked for a little bit after that the same day and exchanged numbers. She messaged me after her shift and asked me to go get drinks with her when my shift ended. It's been 3 years now and we've been engaged for a couple months. At work, she transferred to my department. We bonded during training. We had mutual friends and hung out a few times outside of work. She was really nice to me but I just thought she was friendly. Her position was eliminated due to the pandemic and she moved to another department. We hung out a couple more times and I noticed her gravitating around me, so I took a shot and asked her out. We've been dating about a month now. I met my ex through my brother who was dating her at the time. They called a mutual quits. He started dating one of my friends and she wanted to continue to hang around. She came to bonfires and barbecues and eventually decided she wanted to be with me, so she basically threw herself at me when we were drunk one night. We ended up making out and were friends with benefits before making it official a couple months later. We regrettably got married after a few years and were only married 2 years before she cheated. Go to the grocery store at 8 PM on a Friday night. Look for a woman. By herself. Buying cat food. Frozen pizza and a bottle of wine. She was the one who confessed. Now that you think of it, I've never once confessed first. I was in my element. I had a short film that did quite well on its festival run. And the last stop on its little tour was in my hometown. I knew pretty much everyone in attendance because my town is not very big. So I was very comfortable being around everyone in the after party. But it just so happened that there was a new company sponsoring the event. There was a strikingly gorgeous girl working their booth that I hadn't seen before. Despite the fact that I was coming off of a screening of my film, in a party where I knew everyone, I still locked up and couldn't even say hi to her. Luckily my kindergarten best friend was there and pulled off the most legendary wingman move I have ever seen. I left to use restroom and came back. He had collected all the girls from the other sponsor booths for a shot at the bar, including the girl who had me tripping over myself, about 10-12 people. He handed me a shot glass. We all toasted and drank. Then I turned to this girl and managed to make myself say, "Hi, I'm Scorch089. Fast forward to 4.5 years later. I married her this past October. Hands down the best night of my life. I am forever indebted to my friend." I am a shy introverted girl who loves shy, introverted guys. I met most of my dates in the last 10 years on OkCupid. Actually I so rarely had a bad experience on there. I never used Tinder or any of those other swippy apps. 5 years ago met my fiance on OKC. We're getting married in May. I'm not his girlfriend. Wish I was though. But we've gone to the same school ever since kindergarten and we've been friends for a few years now. And I'm so outgoing and energetic and he's the complete opposite. Opposites attract. But I'm just his friend and he's my best friend. I never did. Probably never will. Friend from school who I play online and message a lot was worried about my mental health after half my family passed away in the same month. I wouldn't go outside or have energy to do a whole lot. She gradually got me to go outside to the park and even just for nice walks with her as a friend, and then in a Costa I asked her out. She said yes. That was 4 years ago and I am proud to say that she is quite literally the best thing that ever happened to me. Power went out one night so I was bored as hell in my apartment with nothing to do. Didn't really have a cell phone at the time. Heard some people outside my back door. So I stepped out to bum a cig off someone. They ended up inviting me to have a few drinks with them. Was neighbor girl plus 3 of her friends. Hung out for a few hours. Got where it faced off tequila. First time drinking it. Found out that she smoked weed. So we ended up hanging out pretty often after that. Was friends for about half a year and started dating. 4 years later and we're married with a son on the way. Was blackout drunk in a bar in downtown Las Vegas with 2 guys from work. The one guy that was good with the ladies started talking to 2 that came in. He hit on the really hot one, but she was married. I ended up drunkenly hitting on the other one and somehow she liked me and put her phone in my phone. Duck. I lucked out. Woke up in my car at 8 AM in the morning in a casino parking lot. Duck. I felt like ass. But I got the. I'll let you know when I do. Online. In the pre-Tinder days. Her older sister was my supervisor at work. Her sister probably realized I was a lonely bastard and started inviting me to her family parties. My girlfriend is more introverted and shy than I am. Actually, I'm a shy guy, except this is how I met my boyfriend. So, I had a little friend that I made in 6th grade. Only one. But then a few months later, my friend brought another person in our group. We slowly started to build a connection. Then, about a week ago, I figured out I liked him and told him over text and then started freaking out. Then he said he liked me too. So we started going out. A week later, we're still going strong. I have a girlfriend. How was I not informed? I'm the girlfriend. He's the shy introvert. It was at his sister's house. She's one of my good friends. We were drunk. She was unable to look after herself, so asked him to come round. I got him out of his comfort zone and made him talk to me. Poor guy. It worked though. 7 months later we got together. We've been together over a year now. GF. What's that? Is it edible? Is there someone available for the holidays? PS. I'm a guy. She walked into my office and asked if I could fix her phone. First date was a few days later. Been together 3 years so far. We met online 10 years ago and became good online friends. And I asked her out this year. I have no idea why she said yes. Meet? Girlfriend? I don't understand these terms. During my undergrad, even though I was shy, I was very comfortable around her. I felt like we could talk to each other for hours and not get bored, and that was the first time I felt that with someone. So one day I just told her on an airplane. Then I annoyed her for a month and now we have been dating for 4 years. I like pretzels and she made pretzels. I then bought pretzels. A lot of pretzels. Yes, I am talking about pretzels. You guys are getting laid? I have still never had a girlfriend, and most likely never will. At this point I'm just learning to live with the fact that I'm not a very likable guy. Online. Through my emotionally abusive, now ex-boyfriend. She let me move in with her to avoid further abuse from my parents. And the day I moved in I'm surprised I didn't drop dead then and there because she was gorgeous. We started dating almost immediately. And while there's been ups and downs, we haven't had many arguments that weren't settled the day of or a few days later. Longest standing argument is whether I'd be more edible in a survival scenario or if she'd be more edible. She has more fat. But I don't have much fat and I vary my diet a bit more. We can't legally marry. I'm disabled and don't want to lose my SS. At best it'd be cut in half and at worst I'd be labeled as her dependent. Thanks, America. Yes. But we consider ourselves married. I found them hiding in my basement. I'll let you know when it happens. Why for the shy guy here? We were living different city that time. I didn't have any social media so I didn't know how he looked like. I contacted him by text. Hang up on me when I tried to talk over phone. I proposed him to be my boyfriend over text. Was very nervous when we first saw each other IRL. Now, he is a shameless dork. I gave up. Every time I meet a girl I like I get friend-zoned. By realizing that being introverted in no way implies being shy. Also, I never did. She very bluntly asked me out after me ignoring her advances like the clueless potato that I am. Been married 20 years now. Clown on me all you want. Discord. We got along amazingly well and had a lot of similar interests and we just were a great combination, and it took a lot for me to force myself to ask her out, and to my surprise she accepted. We call and FaceTime as much as we can. We hang out a lot and Netflix watch parties and text a lot. It's long distance but we make it work. She's amazing and again clown on me all you want, but she's just so wonderful to me and I love her to pieces. A deranged Italian man kept throwing vegetables at us and combat really brings people together. We were at my cousin's birthday. My cousin invited only boys from his class and her that was just his neighbor. I dropped my jacket as soon as I saw her and she just started laughing. At the dinner table I was just too nervous to eat, and after dinner every classmate went home so it was just me, her and my cousin. We talked for a while. I was nervous AF and then she went home. Next day she sent me a message, hey did you get at home okay last night? 1 week later she said she liked me. Happily dating since then. She asked me. I turned her down at first but took it into consideration after. Then thought about going back to her to take back my rejection. Then she asked me again. And I accepted. Wait, you guys have girlfriends? She made the first move while we were talking on my friend's back porch. Granted it was while we were both intoxicated, but I've always struggled making any kind of move and typically don't notice when I'm being hit on. I met my boyfriend through gaming. He's quite shy, doesn't talk much and keeps a small but close friend group. We joined the same guild in a game, I think it's still active, and ended up hanging out a lot. We realized we have the same interests. Unfortunately, we lived a few countries apart and didn't speak the same native language, though we were both comfortable with English. Eventually he came to visit me one summer and I ended up moving to his country for studies. He's definitely still a shy guy, but he's grown so much and I'm very proud. She literally walked into my room with her friend that I invited over 4 years later, and I'm so glad she did. My GF broke up with me, and my best friend's sister was being really supportive, so we started dating. My friend connected me with a cute girl we met while traveling together during the summer after we graduated high school. By pretending I'm not shy, I usually meet partners through hobbies and I circle for a while, figure out if they are interested, then things take a natural course. In her bed, she wasn't my girlfriend then, but she has Stockholm syndrome. Luckily for me, I met mine because she actually dated my roommate before I started dating her. Easy to meet a girl when you don't even have to leave the house. It's bold of you to assume that I meet girls, and even bolder that I have a girlfriend. I met my wife while we were both in high school. I was trying to figure myself out at the time and push myself out of my shell, and we met at a dance. The unlikely part was that I would be there and socializing with someone that I had never really interacted with before. But for whatever reason, we clicked so easily that after that it was easy to become good friends. I felt comfortable with her, and then we started dating and eventually got married. I think if I hadn't met her, I would have had a chance at finding someone in college too, because I did eventually make some friends there. But if I was still single after that point,